everyone, welcome to the Practical Paper Crafter. Today I'm going to show you these 4 Christmas cards I made with the Graphic 45 Letters from Santa collection. This is an altered belly band card that I made. It is approximately 4 by 8 inch card. I also used a Sizzix Impresslet snowflake die that I'll be showing you how I made. So first of all, I'm going to show you how I made the altered belly band for the card. I just took a strip of the paper from the collection and I made it the same size as the card. And I backed it in some green cardstock. And here I'm just trying to do 2 cards at once. And with these cards, I know it's an unusual size, 4 by 8, but what I wanted to do was basically just take the 8 by 8 pack collection and I just folded it in half basically. And sometimes I think it's really great for inspiration to just change the size of the card. And it gives you a different canvas to use in a different way. And if you can see that right there, sorry, my head's in the way there. So for the belly band, not only did I put glue on the ends, I put a strip of glue in the middle, as you can see there. And you can see that there's 2 pockets in this belly band, and that's going to make a little bit more sense as we go along. And as you can see, this paper collection lends itself really well to craft cardstock. So a lot of the matting that I did and a lot of the paper that I used was just your basic craft cardstock. I did round the edges, I inked the edges, and this is where you're going to be writing your sentiment on the inside of the card. I'm just going to cover that in double-sided tape and then use my tape runner in the middle just to give it a little bit more. And I bent the side up there just to get my my cardstock straight. This is that Impresslets die I told you about. This is a Sizzix die. They don't make it anymore. I put it through the machine wrong and I'm pretty sure I ruined it. And I'm really, really sad about it. But live and learn, baby. Live and learn. There I showed the die. That might have been too fast. I'll put the die in the description. I don't think it's available. I basically just took ink and I pressed ink down into the die and then I cut out the die. And here I'm just showing you my We Are Memory Keepers punch board, how I made my envelopes that I used for these cards. There's several different elements that go into making these cards. And sometimes when you're making those smaller envelopes with the We Are Memory Keepers punch board, you do have to kind of trim off the end or it'll stick out a little too much. And it's really important to ink the edges, I think, on an envelope because you can really see them a lot better when you're inking those edges. And it just kind of makes the lines of the envelope stand out a little bit better. And then I just take a cut apart from the collection and put it inside the envelope. And here I'm taking just some gold stickers that I happen to have in my stash. And I thought those would be cute. So here now I'm making an even smaller envelope out of just some green cardstock. And again, on those smaller envelopes, you do have to trim down the tops of your envelope or it'll show below your envelope. It makes sense once you make one. And you'll say, why does this flap too long for my envelope? You just trim it off. And I did ink the edges on that with green, so it's just kind of a tone-on-tone green. And I glued it closed because basically I'm going to be turning this into, make it look like an actual letter that's been sent through the mail, just in miniature form. And I'm trying to find a stamp that will be small enough. And there's this cut apart on the signature page of the 8x8 collection. And it's like a Christmas countdown, so it has these little squares with numbers in it. And I thought that would be perfect for the stamp for my little envelope. So I glue that down. And I made another one for the other, because I was planning on making another envelope. And then I get out my, I have these little stamps, stamps. And I'm going to make it look like my stamp is canceled here. So I just get that into my stamping platform, ink it up, and just press down. Then I get my little lines, and there we go. Just so you can see it. And then I get out a pen and I just write a fake address for Santa Claus. I think it says Santa Claus 1 Candy Cane Lane, North Pole. And then I think the zip code was 0001. So, and then I just made up another, just to make it look authentic. Those little details make a big difference. And then I'm going to use this cut apart as my sentiment. First, I'm going to trim down the sides, and I believe I mat it in some craft cardstock. I'm going to ink my edges. And even for small cuts, I get out my paper cutter because it just cuts straighter. I'm just not capable of cutting straight with a pair of scissors as straight as I'd like it to be. So I'm kind of deciding, and I'm positioning that sentiment right in the middle. And I'm basically putting the sentiment right where I have that second layer of glue for the belly band. And the reason why I'm putting that glue in the middle of the belly band was because if I hadn't, it would have just been too loose, and those elements that are behind the belly band would not stay still. They would just slide around and fall out. So that's why I use the altered belly band by putting glue in the middle by creating 2 different pockets. And you can see that a little bit up close. I just pressed my ink pad down on the impress lit and then ran it through the ink, my Big Shot, and that's kind of what you get. So I thought that looked really, really cool. And now I'm just gonna really quickly, and you can see you can pull all those elements out, which I think is fun. I mean, why would someone want to pull them out? I don't know, but I just think it's fun to have them be removable and people can look at them. But I really liked how this card turned out, and I believe we're gonna make 3 more. Now for the open side of the card, I am going to use this cut apart from the signature page. And I'm just going to use my small tape runner to mat that on some craft cardstock, and I just put it right there. And that's the great thing about Graphic 45 paper, is Graphic 45 paper does a lot of the work. They make it very, very easy to create these cards. So here's my altered belly band. And I just cut a strip of this paper that just has this Merry Christmas, but if you cut out a strip, it looks like an actual strip. So there's my altered belly band with glue on the sides and 1 strip of glue down the middle. I cut this little strip from the signature page that I'm going to mat on some craft cardstock and use that on my horizontal card for the inside of my card. Again, 2 more stamps down in the corner to embellish that piece of craft cardstock. Then I'm just going to glue this down. I'm going to try to center it as well as I can. And then here's my altered belly band, and now I'm just going to place my elements. I've made another envelope here with my We Are Memory Keepers punch board, and I'm going to just glue 3 of those sides together, and then I just pick a cut apart from the collection. I round the corners, ink it, and there it goes. I'm also making my second envelope. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, well, you could just use a square piece of, here you can see the address, and I just tried to write in my nicest cursive writing here. So that's the little envelope, and it really does make a difference and really make it look like an envelope when you actually make it an envelope. Even though you're going to glue it down and they may never see the back, it's still, if you had just cut a piece of paper, it wouldn't look the same. So here's my little sentiment I got from the die cut assortment. And I get out my snowflakes that I cut with that Impresslets die. And I'm just kind of trying to position those where I think they're going to look good. And I cut them, you know, put them behind this or that. Another little cut apart from the collection to embellish the bottom. And there we go. I'm deciding on this one, but I don't think I added it. Okay, so now I'm moving on to my next card here. Basically the same card, but it is a horizontal card instead of a vertical card. And so the elements are just going to look a little bit different. That Merry Christmas is again from the die cut assortment pack. I made another envelope, put that in there. Those are little cut aparts from the collection. That little postcard on the right was from the die assortment collection. And now I'm just positioning my snowflakes where I think they're going to look good. That one I cut in half and just kind of bunched up together. Put a couple of pieces together. I put little stamps in there, just anything I thought would look nice. And that's the fun thing about the Graphic 45 is they just make it so easy to add all these little embellishments here and there. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking the pieces of your card stick out beyond the border of your card. However, with the odd shape of this card, you're going to have to make a homemade envelope anyway. So you might as well just make the card you want and make the envelope fit the card. And now on to my second horizontal. I've got my little envelope there, my cut aparts from the collection, just trimming those, inking those, and getting them into position. Once you kind of figure out what you're doing with the card, it becomes easier as you go, and I'm trying to decide on a sentiment. This was from the signature page. I cut these little postcards and I glued them down on the right hand side there. And here is my sentiment I'm going to be using. It's just another Merry Christmas cut from one of the sheets from the collection, mounted on craft cardstock. And I'm going to pop that up just a little bit, give it a little bit of dimension. And now all I need to do is add those beautiful snowflakes from that Impresslets die. And I cut up that snowflake again and just added the little pieces under there just to make it look nice and full. And like I said, the collection really lended itself really well to that craft cardstock, and I really liked how it looked. I couldn't decide where I wanted to put that last snowflake, but I ended up putting it there. I think that looks good. And now I'm going to show you all 4 cards. All right, these are the 4 cards that I made with the Graphic 45 Letters from Santa collection. As you can see, these were really fun cards to make. The dimensions are, this is just an 8x8 sheet of paper from the collection folded in half with an altered belly band. All of the elements from the back are removable. I forgot to put a little postcard in that envelope that I just realized. And so I stopped here and put a little note card in there. Yeah, I think these turned out really nicely. I basically just let the paper do the work, cut apart those pretty elements, used the die cut assortment to fill in here and there where I needed something to go in there, and of course decorated the inside flap with one of those cut aparts, and I think that just adds, and all this pretty detail and the movable parts just makes it so fun, such a fun card and an unusual card. And like I said, it's just a belly band with a strip of glue in the middle to keep those elements nice and tight. So if you displayed this card, those elements would not slide around, they would stay put. And it's just such a beautiful paper collection. If you do use this paper collection, try to use craft cardstock. It worked really well with the collection, and it gave it the like an old-fashioned type of look, which I really liked. And this, I forgot to glue my inside pieces on that card, so I just kept it closed. But you can see how just taking and making your card a different size created a different look for the card. I did 2 horizontal and 2 vertical cards just to show you could do this technique both ways. And also, this is a good example of what it looks like when you use designer paper for your card base instead of just using white or cream cardstock or craft cardstock. I think it's a really fun way to use your designer paper, and it gives just a different look to the card. If this isn't your style and you just want to use cream cardstock with this, or you just wanted to use craft cardstock, you could do that too, and I'm sure it would look really, really great. Anyways, I hope this inspired you. I hope these cards taught you some really interesting techniques and gave you some ideas on how you could use the Graphic 45 Letters from Santa collection. All right, everyone, thank you for watching the video today. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Turn on that notification bell so you can be notified anytime I put up a new video, and comment if you have any comments, or if you like the cards, or if you have any questions, just add it to the comment and I will try to answer you. Everyone have a great week and happy Christmas season beginning. It's very exciting, and I hope to be putting out more Christmas card videos. Have a great day, everyone.